Hi, welcome to my next session on uploading files programmatically from an on-premises location to an Azure storage account. I'm going to use a C# programming language as an example. We will complete this session in 10 minutes time frame, including the demo. So what I'm going to use I'm going to use Azure storage, whereupon I will create containers, and then I will be using the blob storage in order to upload the files from on-premises location to Azure storage account. Let's see how we will be doing this. First thing is, let's first of all understand the use cases with respect to this approach. You need to make sure that the files that need to be uploaded from on-premises location or from any SFTP location or from a different cloud location to a newer cloud location should be in smaller in size. And that is what that approach that you have to follow when you are doing programmatically uploading or moving files from one location to another locations. In addition to that, I have given a couple of use cases here. If you look here, you can upload files from an SFTP location to a cloud storage for further processing. Say for example, you may have offices across the globe. Collect the perks or monthly reimbursement detail from every geolocation and put it there in a common storage for final processing. That might be the first example or the use case. Second one, day-to-day files processed at on-premises might require further processing at the cloud storage for geo distribution. Say for example, you have an office in one geolocation, and if you want to share the information with the other offices in different geolocation uniformly, instead of sending the file through mail or sharing it through some common shares, you can make use of a cloud storage. Thereby other offices across the globe can make use of it whenever they need. Third one is, data collected by IoT devices or telemetry apps can be pushed into a cloud storage for next level processing. And the last one is offline data collected by mobile devices that need to be synced with the core application running in the cloud. Say, for example, in a real estate business, a, a potential employer can meet a customer at offsite and collect details about a real estate information using his mobile device, and he can sync up with the cloud storage as and when he get the internet connectivity, or after going through the information collected, sanitize it, update it with the correct detail, and then upload the data offline, whereupon you can go for this programmatic approach. So these are the use cases, and there are many. It is not limited to only to these four. There are many. Based upon your choice, you can go for this programmatic approach. Now, how to design code and demo this one? First thing is, the first step what you have to do is you need to create a storage account, and the next come within that storage account you have to create a container that holds your blob. Next, we need to build a .NET application using C Sharp. You can use any programming language, but I preferred C Sharp .NET. Third one is, run the .NET application that will pick up the data from a designated location and then push the data into a Azure storage account that is in a designated container. This is what the steps involved in this programmatic approach. Now let's get into to code and then the demo. Now I logged it into my Azure account, and I am creating a resource, that is my storage account. Here what I'm going to do is I create a new storage account, and then selecting the appropriate resource group, and then providing a unique storage account name all in small letter, and I can pick up the region of my choice. Now this storage name is not available, and so I'm just making a small change in the storage name, and so it's made available. Between the performance standard and the premium, I go for standard one, and then I opt for local redundant storage because this is for a demo purpose. So I would like to minimize the cost. So this is the lowest cost option available, and so after doing this, I can enter either other details like tags, encryption, data protection. Since it's a proof of concept kind of stuff, I'm going to create a storage account. So to do a final validation of the information whatever I provided, if everything okay, then I will get an command button enabled that's for create. So it's a kind of a hot storage, and upon pressing the create button, my the deployment is processed, and within a few minutes my deployment is complete. I can go to the storage location and get to know about all the details with respect to the storage account I created. The next step is I need to create a container within the storage, for which um, if you see here on the left side, I am opting the container option, and when you press the new container, I will be in a position to create a container. So I'm providing the container name as container 1C, and I have not changed anything. Okay, since it's a POC, I have not changed anything. I'm leaving the option as is, and then I go ahead and create the container within the storage. You can create as many number of unique containers within a storage. So what you have to do is you need to pick up the. So if you look here, we have created a container, and I can create as many number of containers based upon the requirement. So we have two containers here. Now let me go and upload some files into the container. So I drag and drop a couple of files, and then I'm uploading it into the container. Could choose the option override if the file is already exists. So I am able to upload two files successfully into the container. So one container containing two files, the other container doesn't have any information. Now let's go and opt for the access keys. I need to find out the connection string for the storage container. There are two keys available, and I'm going to pick up the first key. You can use any one of the key for your programmatic purpose. So I have coded it here. What I have done is I have created an application where I am using if you look here, I am opting for a NuGet package by name Azure Storage. You have Windows Azure Storage here, and I am preferring azure.storage.plop. This is the first one that I will be installing it here. So after installing it, let me walk through briefly at the code whatever I have it. It's a very simple file, and I have namespaces declared at the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a file locally and put it there in a directory called dot data. The file name what I'm going to have is my file plus a GUI ID, a unique naming with an extension dot text. So I have created a file inside the local path. So what I'm going to do is at line number 18, I'm going to write a simple text. Current date and time is the current system date and time. And then once it is done, I'm going to print a file is created locally in a local path. That's a message I'm going to publish it. And then the connection string, whatever I copied in the previous screen in the Azure portal, I'm going to use the connection string as it is. Okay, I have it in a variable called the connection string. Then I'm using it to connect to the blob service client. So I'm creating a blob service client, and then within that storage I am going to use the container 1s. Okay, so remember I have two different containers. So after getting connection, I'm going to list the contents of the file which is already there as part of the container 1s. Okay, so I'm having a simple loop that will print all the items inside the container. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the local file whatever I created and then uploading it into the container. So we already have a file which is created using the file name. That's what I'm going to use it in line number 40. Upload the file it into the URI. Okay. So the line number 45 is meant for uploading the file it into the blob client which is already created. And once this is uploaded, I would like to list the files which are already there as part of the blob. Okay, that's what I'm going to do as part of line number 47. And then remember we have the listing before the file upload and a listing after the upload. So I'm going to list the information from the blob client. So I get all the information, but when you run it, it lists all the files which are there. Remember we uploaded two files which is there. Now I created a new file with a file prefix as my file with the GUID, and that's what uploaded it into the client. That's it. Here if you see and refresh um, this container, you will get the new file which is uploaded it into the container. So this is how you can upload the file very quickly into the Azure storage within which a container specified location. Okay, and so this is how you can upload the file it into the cloud from on-premises location or in any other cloud location. You can do changes as per your use cases or your requirement. And this is what the small demo with respect to uploading file from a SFTP location or a location of your choice to a predetermined location. Okay, you can make further programming changes based upon your requirement. And that's it. I hope this video is helpful to you. You might have learned a good thing today within 10 minutes of time. And this learning exercise we are going to continue in our next edition with further changes. I'll be using this programmatic example as a base for narrating few more examples or while consuming few more services. Let's meet sometime tomorrow with a newer topic. Till then, stay safe and goodbye.